we are back with some more Crux Deluxe boots. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Dale, Dale's Other Works. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I just got a new shipment from my buddy Rowdy Day at Crux Deluxe Boots. These bad boys are en route to my buddy Mario in Canada, so go give him a follow on Boot Reaper to track their patina. I'm going to unbox these babies with my WESN Almond in Damasteel. It is my favorite knife. It's not cheap, but I absolutely love WESN. Those guys over there, they're big into the heritage stuff too, the salvage, the boots, and all that. So I always like to support them. So link to WESN in the description below. Flip to open. All right, check out that unboxing experience right there. Oh, well, look at that. Mario has 2,445 points with Crux Deluxe so far. That is outstanding. All right, let's get a look at these bad boys. Wow, feast your eyes on these things. So Mario had this exact pair in black. He did it up in a brown horsehide this time. Right off the bat, what I'm noticing about this build is the Cuban heel back here, and most prominent is obviously this incredible toe track that it extends all the way down the line. So it extends all the way down the toe, all the way up to the top of the shaft. Up the vamp to the top of the shaft. Wow, that is cool. And so that comes from apparently the crimping process. I've explained it in other videos and then I forget, and then I'm just not with it today. What are we drinking today? Amino Lean Berry Elixir. It's kind of emasculating drinking a pink drink, I know, but you know, I'm comfortable enough in my toxic masculinity to handle it. So good. It might look like a girl's drink, but it's got 200 milligrams of caffeine in there. And of course, all the essential amino acids you need for muscle building. That's why I sip on this throughout the day. All right, so before I get started, a quick note from Rowdy. He says, Dale, thank you for doing these reviews. It's hugely helpful to us as we're still growing and trying to get as many orders as possible to keep reinvesting in development for new offerings and designs, which we have many more coming. He said, if you want to do a boot talk with me soon, I'd totally be stoked to get online with you, film back and forth. Oh yes, Rowdy, you and I, we're going to make that boot talk happen. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss that interview. We'd really love to eventually move all of our production here stateside, and it's something I've already discussed with Abe. We'd like to do as soon as we have the funds available for his family's migration here. But until then, we'll keep plugging along and staying true to our working values. We've got a few new leathers on deck, some more affordable, like Chrome Excel, and some on the higher end side, like Shell Cordovan. I'm trying to get the word out that we're totally open to working with customers to create orders for boot samples that haven't been made yet. If they see a boot model but want it in a leather that hasn't been sampled yet, we're more than willing to make whatever the preference is. Same goes for construction and welting. As you probably know, Abe's hand welting abilities are absolutely incredible. So we will begin to break this open more soon with new construction offerings and also do a double or triple welt makeup on some of the upcoming new designs. Some customers have been a bit confused about the ordering process and how I work to nail down sizing since width options are not listed on the website. I've been trying to let people know that all orders are reviewed by me before we begin making the boots, and I'll follow up with customer size requests and adjust widths and lasts depending on what the customer needs for a more bespoke fit and experience. Our Guidi horsebutt leather is restocked, which was causing the longest delays, and I've hand dyed new batches of each color for waiting orders with leather stock available for any incoming new orders. As with any handcrafting operation, we try to work quickly but effectively without compromising quality, but sometimes unforeseen delays can happen. For example, the LA fires caused us delays with incoming shipments from some international suppliers. Well, if Bill Gates would stop shooting off his damn space lasers, we wouldn't have these wildfires, now would we? So, anyways, moving on. So, let's go over the specs of these bad boys. So, we have the Jodhpur on the Waylon last. That's W-A-Y-L-O-N. We've got a wide width. The color is chocolate, oiled, horsehide from SHINKI Hikaku. We've got nickel hardware. We've got a Dr. Soul Super Grip midsole, Dr. Soul Super Grip heel lift. We've got black thread, black welt, and black edge trim. So as for the Jodhpurs, on their site, they offer them in chocolate, which are these. They also offer them in Mariam Olive Horsebutt, Mariam Gasoline Horsebutt, the Dark and Stormy, which I reviewed, in Guidi Horsebutt, and the Dark and Stormy. These are handmade, hand-lasted, hand-welted Jodhpur boots with 7-inch tall ankle shafts and finished brass buckles in antique chocolate horsehide made on our Waylon last. The chocolate horsehide is leather vegetable tanned by SHINKI Hikaku Tannery in Himeji, Japan. It's 360-degree hand-sewn welted and channel outsoled construction. Toe track from manual crimping, 7-inch shaft. That's what she said. Leather insole, liner and counter, solid black welt and edge trim, Cuban heel, 1 3/4 inch height, unstructured toe, Waylon last. And let's get a look at these bad boys. Yeah, SHINKI Hikaku, I mean, they make some of the best horse rump in the world, and this is no exception. Alright, so the uppers are 6 ounces thick, which is typical when you combine the lining with the uppers. Looks like they're both about the same thickness. Gauging by what I'm seeing, it looks like the uppers were originally more like probably a 4-ounce leather, and then when you combine that with the lining, it makes it 6 ounces. And I always like a good Jodhpur. Jodhpurs are pretty radical. We've got Crux Deluxe stitched into the inner shaft, and then what appears to be a veg tan Crux Deluxe embossed insole down there. Nice unstructured toe, and I love the way that the Jodhpur comes together with a single wrap, and then the adjustment strap enclosure at the shaft just makes it a really beautiful silhouette. But yeah, so we've got a Dr. Soul Original Super Grip outsole, which is all the rage right now, and then Crux Deluxe embossed on the center of the outsole here. Yep, 270-degree Goodyear welted. Like I was saying before, it's really cool that Rowdy is working with Abe. Just for reference, Abe runs the brand Tahura Boots, which is a small Indonesian workshop of about 8 people who are able to finish about 40 to 60 pairs of boots per month. This is roughly the same size as Sagara Bootmaker. So this is according to an article by my buddy Nick at Stridewise. I will leave a link to this in the description below. This information was expert verified by Ticho Blanco. Tahura is a small bespoke footwear brand based in Bandung, Indonesia, founded in 2010. And for reference, these are my very own Tahura monkey boots in olive horsebutt from Conceria Chloe in Italy. I absolutely love these things. Like I keep complaining about, my rotation is too big to wear these as much as I want, but I did wear these recently and they are just monsters. I mean, the welt on this is just unreal. So I can personally attest to the quality that Abe is cranking out, and it's really cool to see Rowdy working with him in building these boots and building his brand up. And I really like to see that Rowdy is expanding his operation and hopefully growing it. Hopefully, if Abe comes to the US, then guess what? Tahura Boots and Crux Deluxe, it's going to be a lot cheaper for us US customers and more streamlined to get our hands on this stuff. So that is something I definitely look forward to happening here in the near future. But that said, doing a small operation like this, getting it off the ground, it's tough. You know, I can speak to that as well. For the Dale's Leatherworks, some months I'm just reinvesting all the profits into more leather. You know, it's not that I'm necessarily making money. I use the majority of my sales for buying new equipment and getting newer and better and cooler leathers to offer. You know, the dividends could kind of, you know, waver from month to month. But that said, I thank everybody who's been placing orders. It's keeping me afloat. It's definitely not enough to live on, but it's definitely enough to keep the love of leather in full bloom. So let's get a look at this Wayland last. I know I've looked at it before, but yeah, it's really nice. It's rounded off at the toe with just a little bit of a squaring off at the corners there, which I like to see. A nice taper at the waist, not too tight, but generous. I am not the biggest fan of a really aggressive tight taper, so it is a Jodhpur, but it's definitely built on a manly last. Cuban heel, I like the aesthetics. The black painted edge against the chocolate SHINKI horse rump. Speaking of SHINKI, these are my overbuilt monsters from Renav Goods in brown oiled SHINKI horse butt. This might be one of my favorite leathers of all time, just because of the way it patinas. I have some Vibergs made out of this that I post fairly frequently, and they patina up crazily. One of these days I hope to land a jacket made out of SHINKI. That would be badass. Here's a pair of my Jodhpurs from Beckett Simonone. I'll be doing a review on these here shortly. So these are made in Mexico, and these are Blake Rapid Stitch construction. And as you can see, we've only got one layer for the leather outsole and one layer of the midsole. So the advantages of that is, of course, we're going to get easier flex, but the disadvantages of that obviously is going to be the support. Whereas on the Crux Deluxe Jodhpurs, we've got two extra thick layers of veg tan for the insole and midsole, and then of course the Dr. Soul Original Super Grip outsole is going to give a ton of tread and wear resistance. And then yeah, you can see the heel lift is significantly higher. So this one has much more arch support than these Jodhpurs. We've got a pretty standard heel lift here. And aside from that, the pattern is pretty similar. And I should also mention that Crux Deluxe is currently running a clearance sale. Automatic free shipping and 35% off all posted prices applied during checkout. So they have some dark and stormy horse butt engineers in stock. Looks like the only size is a 6.5. They have a Raider double helix jacket. It is available at downtown Long Beach in California. They've got it's a size 46. So it's shrunken black T-core horsehide from the Nita Tannery in Japan. They've got an A2 red silk flight jacket by Rainbow Country, size 44. And they have a bunch of denim as well. Sorry, I'm getting mauled by a tiger over here. Don't mind me. Buddy, no. Alright, so anyways. With that, I will shut it down. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please go support my buddy Rowdy at Crux Deluxe Boots. We greatly appreciate it. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors, and I look forward to doing some future collabs and a future boot talk with him to really flesh out and understand his operation, maybe learn a little bit more about eBay as well. So, as always, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below, so leave a comment and a like if you liked the video. And anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. End of transmission.